this lesson, we're going to look at how to graph linear equations when you are not given the equation of the line. We're also going to look at how to find that equation. So in order to do this, you must be given at least two pieces of information about the linear equation. And with those two pieces of information, you're able to graph it and find the equation that represents the line. So there are three types of information you might be given. You might be given the x and y intercepts. You might be given two ordered pairs that sit on the line, or you might be given the slope and one ordered pair. With any of those, you can graph and find the equation of the line. So we're going to look at an example of each of those. So in this first example, we are given the x and y intercepts. Now remember, the x and y intercepts, this is where the line crosses either the x-axis or the y-axis. So here is our x-axis, here is our y-axis. Now remember, with ordered points, the first represents x and the second y. So let's plot these points here. So this is the point where x is equal to 3 and y is equal to 0. This is the x-intercept. This is the point here where x is equal to 0 and y is equal to 5. That is that point right there. Now we can join these 2 points here, and I will try my best to do a straight line through there. We'll keep it going up there. There we go. And this is the graph of that line. So we've plotted those 2 points and we've drawn a fairly straight line through those 2 points, and that is the graph of the line. Now we can use those 2 points to find the slope of the line, and then we can use that to find the equation of the line. So here our change in x is 3 units. Our change in y here, now we're going down. This change in y is -5. Our slope here is negative. We're going down, or we're falling. As we read this from left to right, our graph is falling. So our y value, our change in y here, is -5. So our slope, here is our slope, remember, is the change in y over the change in x, which in this case is -5/3. Now this is our value for m in the equation y equals mx plus b. This is the equation of a line in slope-intercept form, where m is the slope and b is the y-intercept. So let's go ahead and plug this value into m in this equation. So we have y is equal to -5/3x. Now we want to put in a value for b here, and this happens to be our y-intercept. So it's the value of y as the line crosses the y-axis, and that happens to be 5. So plus 5, and that is the equation of this line. Okay, let's look at the next example here. This is when we are given 2 points. So these are 2 ordered pairs. However, in this example, neither of them are intercepts. So let's go ahead and graph those. So this first point here is where x is 2 and y is 3. That's that point there. And the next point is where x is -4 and y is -2. And that's that point there. Now we're going to draw a line between them, and that line will keep going either way. Okay, so this is the graph of the line with where these two ordered pairs sit on the line. Now let's find the slope of the line. So here, our change in x, so our x value goes from this point here to this point here. This is our change in x. And if we count along, that happens to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units. So we have gone 6 units. Let's do our change here in y now. So our line reading from left to right is increasing, so our value will be positive for our change in y. And this happens to be a distance of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units. 5 units. So now our slope, which is our change in y over our change in x, is 5 over 6, and it's positive. So we can plug that value into m in our equation y equals mx plus b. We also need to find our value for b, and this is the point here where this line crosses the y-axis. Now here it looks like it crosses somewhere around 1. We're just going to verify that here. So now we're going to start with y equals to 5 over 6 x plus b. Now we don't have our value for b, but we can find it algebraically by choosing one of these ordered pairs and putting it into our value for y and x, and then solving for b. So let's choose this first point here. So we're going to take that point, and we're going to plug the point 2, 3 into here. So this gives us 3 is equal to 5 over 6 times 2 plus b. Now let's solve for b. So we can reduce this here. 2 goes into 2 once, and it goes into 6 3 times. So this becomes 5 over 3. And now we have, if we subtract 5 over 3 from both sides, let's just do this in a couple steps. 5 over 3 plus b. Now we want to subtract 5 over 3 from both sides, and that gives us 3 minus 5 over 3 is equal to b. So let's solve for that here. Let's find the common denominator. So that would be 3. So we would change this value to 9 over 3 minus 5 over 3, which happens to be 4 over 3 is equal to b. So that's our value there for b, and we can plug that into our original equation here. Y is equal to 5 over 6x plus 4 over 3. And that is the equation for this line here. Okay, let's look at that very last example now, graphing a line and finding its equation when we have the slope and one ordered pair. So in this example, let's plot this ordered pair first. So this is where x is -2 and y is -3. Now our slope is positive, which means it's going to go up. It's going to rise as we read from left to right, and it's going to rise by 3 and a run of 4. So a rise of 3 and a run of 4, like that. So this, now we have several points here that we've drawn based on the slope, and we can draw the line between them like that. Now we need to find this y-intercept again based on this information. So we have the slope already, and we can plug that into the equation here, y is equal to 3 over 4x plus b, and we need to solve for b. So let's do this in the same way, taking this point -2, -3, and putting it into our equation here. So -3 is equal to 3 over 4 times -2 plus b. And let's solve for b now. So here we can reduce this to 1 over 2, and that gives us -3 is equal to negative, don't forget this is negative here, -3 over 2 plus b. We're going to add this to both sides to give us -3 plus 3 over 2 is equal to b. Now we've isolated b on its own. We can find a common denominator and reduce this. So this gives us -6 over 2 plus 3 over 2, which is -3 over 2, or -1.5 is equal to b. Now we can put that into our equation here to give us y equal to 3 over 4x minus 3 over 2. And that is the equation for this line there.